Today we are speaking with Dima Schneidmann. Dima is a veteran of CBN Israel and is a project manager working with Holocaust survivors and new immigrants. In today's episode, we discuss the evolution of CBN Israel's work through the years and its response during the latest war. So let's get right to the conversation. All right, we're here today with Dima Schneidmann. Thank you for coming down to Jerusalem, and we're going to talk about where you're based and everything, but great to talk to you.
Me too. Thank you.
Dima is a project manager at CBN Israel,
Right.
and it covers the North and a couple of different projects. But first of all, I forgot to put this on the table. I just wanted to
Okay.
make sure.
What about brown ones?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think, we'll start with probably the least important thing to know, but that what is the deal with the brown M&Ms? I think this is hilarious.
Yeah. So this is a story about riders. So some, I think it's Van Halen band, and they are putting this in their riders. So no brown M&Ms in our candies. Why? This was a point. This way they just checked the rest of stuff, because it was a lot of technical specific parts and cables, etc. It should be very good organized in safety for audience or for the musicians. So there check this candies, and if there no brown candies, so it's signed that everything was written and checked.
Wow.
and right way. So I'm sorry about my broken English. So
No, your English is
it's my
great.
fourth language. So
Oh my God! And we will talk about that too. But no, this was a great. This is a great story. When we were scheduling the program,
yeah,
and
so no
Dima
brown
said,
ones. So great, yeah, nice job.
make sure there's and the M&Ms, but no brown ones. And so I had to research Van Halen. And
The funny thing, I'm not a big fan of Van Halen, but it's a good story. So
yeah, I think it's awesome. It's like one of those things. You know the band, you know the songs, but you never knew the details. But
yeah.
the details are in the brown M&Ms. So anyway, the attention to detail, that's awesome. Okay, well, you can feel free to have some while we're
Thank you.
chatting. But we want to talk about, we're talking about the humanitarian aid that CBN Israel does. And first of all, how long have you been with CBN Israel?
Actually, we started the first pilot project at 2006, so it about 18 years ago, and actually during the first Lebanon war. So now I'm feeling sort of deja vu. It's like we are doing some projects exactly at the same places, at the same areas, what we did at the very beginning 18 years ago. And then it's through this pilot projects, it grew to the Operation Blessing, the local ones, pretty small, and then to CBN Israel, actually. So.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. And have you been doing the same type of work the whole time, or has your work also changed?
We are just started things from nothing, and we are just try to find the right ways to do things and to create some connections and relationships. And actually, yeah, we are try to do the right things, and pretty the same, but a little different maybe.
Okay, so what type of projects are you involved in now, and where I guess tell us also a little bit about where you're located.
Actually, we are doing our projects all over the country. Me personally, I live at North in Galilee, but we are working all over the country, and so my department it's mostly about new immigrants and Holocaust survivors. Of course, during the last war, actually, our main accent on any kind of victims of war and terror, etc. But we are still doing our regular things like ongoing projects. I mean, in each area. I mean, it depends on if something happened in Haifa, we are going to Haifa or go to border with Gaza. So yes, I'm I'm saying usually we are working from border with Hezbollah to the border with Hamas, so it's all our small country. So
Wow. It's like no joke these days. We need a border for also to add in the Houthis, and
you know,
we got it all
I mean,
covered.
during our long story of Jewish people, we had no choice but to joke about everything. So this is our way to survive. So
Yeah, seriously.
even during the war, it's okay, I think.
Yeah. One of the most impactful videos that came out from the war that we did was somebody that you helped in Ofakim.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember watching the Israeli news, and I also saw him on the news. Like his story was picked up by everyone. Can you tell us a little bit about who he is and what happened? He was in Ofakim and with his daughter, right?
Right. Yeah. It's you know, the real hero. And during this terrorist attack, it was exactly the first day, October 7, a year ago, and immediately, I mean, these guys with automatic guns were everywhere on every street, and so this local guy from Ofakim, pretty, I mean, man in the mid age, I mean, about 50. So he just took his daughter to the car, and they tried to you know, escape from this area.
Mm-hmm.
And so we saw pretty dramatic videos from his dashboard cam, and I mean, with terrorists and with shootings, it's you know, it's like the real action movie. So
Yeah.
the real hero, and he's got 7 bullets in his body during this escape, and but he did it, and yeah, I mean, the real hero.
Wow.
And I have no enough words to tell this story, but you saw it, I hope, in our
Yeah.
material. So
Yeah, it's one of the most dramatic stories, you know. Then
it is.
And
Yeah.
yeah, just say the whole 2-3 minutes or of the video, you're just like, oh my gosh. And then a couple days or weeks later, you know, I saw him on the news
Mm-hmm.
here, and also, you know,
Yeah.
telling his story, and it's unbelievable, because like our work has crossed paths with so many people here, you know, different victims and different needs.
Right.
Yeah. One of your projects is with new immigrants, to help new immigrants. So first of all, you also were an immigrant to this country, right?
Sure. I mean, it helps me a little. I mean, to do these things, because I'm from a family of Holocaust survivors.
Wow.
And I'm new immigrant myself. So actually, I know these people, and I think, I hope I understand their way of thinking and background and mentality. So and the problems, because we actually, my family went through it. So
Yeah, unbelievable.
yeah.
Where did you move from? Where'd you make all
Originally, we are from Ukraine,
Mm-hmm.
from Sumy. It's exactly, I mean, this is right now, it's maybe one of the most dangerous places in Ukraine, because it's northern border with Russia. So our hometown under fire constantly. So, but we here in Israel, we are 25 years. So it was pretty.
Okay.
Here is my home, but it's
Mm-hmm.
still, you know, it's like I did my immigration at I was about 30 years old, but
Okay.
so a big part of my life I've spent there. So it's still hard, because, you know, to see it in the news, all these pictures,
Yeah.
and still part of my family is still there. So
Yeah, that's unbelievable. Were your children born there or here?
yeah, there.
They were
So
born
actually,
there as well.
I have 2 children, boy and girl, and boy now, he is 26 years old. So we came in Israel. He was a year-old, 1-year-old baby.
Okay.
So actually, it's like he was born there, but grew here, and just no experience, but Israelis. I mean, for him.
Mm-hmm.
And our daughter, she was born here in Israel in 2007. So
Okay.
it's like yesterday, but, you know, a week ago she's got a driving license.
Oh my goodness.
For me, it's like, you know, wow.
Oh my goodness.
My baby driving now. So
that's a new era of life. Oh my gosh.
oh yeah, it's like
Wow.
so fast. Yeah.
Wow. Is she in the army as well?
Not yet.
Okay. All right. And that'll be
The
another.
last class of high school. But still in the process of GIUS.
Recruitment.
The recruitment, yeah. I mean, so they are open the case and
Enlistment.
profile, etc. So
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. So you're about to go through into another season of life.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So you'd be able to tell us, and I think it's good for us to explain because not all countries necessarily go through it like in Israel, but new immigrants, like
Hmm.
why this is actually a big need here to help them integrate into the country. I think it's also something Americans don't necessarily understand because if you do immigrate to America, it's usually for you have maybe a job lined up, if it's legal immigration or whatever, there's usually like advantages. And when you come to Israel, it looks like there might be advantages, but there are many challenges that may be unique to Israel. So what are some of the challenges that new immigrants face?
It depends on their age, because if some, it's if we are talking about like a, I don't know, young couple with baby, so they have to find a job as soon as possible, etc. I mean, the main problem for everybody it's the language barrier,
Yeah.
because Hebrew it's not like a, not so popular. I mean, we're pretty Jewish people are pretty small. I mean, it's about, I don't know, maybe 14 millions all over the world, and maybe only part of them are speak Hebrew. So it's not
Right.
like in English. I mean, more or less, but every one of us are knows some English, or even the books, because I mean letters.
Right.
It looks like a familiar, but Hebrew is like all opposite, and so it's a huge cultural shock at the
Yep.
beginning for everybody, and it's pretty hard. This is the reason why it's pretty hard to find some job and to create some even low income, small
Yeah.
income.
Hmm.
But again, so we are just trying to actually we're trying to give them some financial support, but not only. I mean, we're helping them with integration, with communication, with connections, because we are working with actually we are created a pretty wide network of our partnering organization volunteers all over the country. So we are helping them to meet the right people, to get some advices
Hmm.
and help and assistance. And I mean, sometimes at the beginning it even hard to understand what's written in your, I don't know, you're getting some letter from electrical company and you don't
Hmm.
know what exactly it is or what's the problem. So I mean, all this stuff we are trying to help them. I mean, in addition to our financial support or material support. So we're trying to connect them with right people, with volunteers, with some local communities, and to make it smoother and warmer and more,
Yeah.
human and
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, now another issue that I remember during like the immigration of it was it the 1990s and early 2000, a lot of people from the former Soviet Union, that they come with high level degrees, like they're engineers
Yeah.
or professional musicians, even scientists, um, and then when they come here, they can't get jobs in those fields because of, like you said, the language. And that must be really tough, like to have to then become a cleaner or, they do different jobs to make ends meet.
So, I think it's pretty usual, I mean, usual situation for any kind of immigrants all over the world, because the first steps it's always hard. It's
Hmm.
understood, and you need to prove your diplomas and etc.
Hmm.
I mean, it's pretty the same story, like I think in States or Canada. But the difference is it's like, again, it's cultural differences, language barrier. I think
Hmm.
language barrier it's little like a higher
Yeah,
than
yeah, yeah,
in English speaking countries.
yeah.
So, but experience, I think it's pretty the same experience like for any immigrant. And I mean, we're actually, if we are talking about Americans, our main
Hmm.
auditory, I think so. It's your previous your family's background. So
Yeah,
some everybody did this step, the same
that's
cleanings,
true.
and
That's true.
yeah.
That's
So
true.
yeah,
I mean, the
you have to be
advantage,
ready to it, but it's
yeah.
still hard.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard because of the language, for
Not
sure.
only, I
Because
mean, you are losing your like social status or something. You was somebody there, but
yeah,
here you're nobody. We have no choice, but it's still hard, you know.
yeah.
It's impacted, like psychological impact, and
Hmm. Yeah, and I was once I had written an article about the integration of the Ethiopians, and also like for their integration and Aliyah process is even so much different from Western countries,
Mhm.
because they don't even have, like, some of them, refrigerators in their houses in Ethiopia. So when a donor, an organization gets them a refrigerator, they just put their shoes in it, and they thought, I guess, it's a closet, and they didn't even know, things you don't think about when you're making the big move. And what about for Holocaust survivors? What kind of help do we provide for Holocaust survivors?
it's like a complex. So we're first of all, of course, we are trying to help them to make some individual assistance with some emergency cases to people with low income. It's very very serious problem. So, but much more important from my point of view to give them some ongoing communications and home visits and support, because it's very, even maybe why it's so important for Holocaust survivors, because of their specific background. It's like a victim psychology, they feeling themselves all of their life from a childhood like a victims, and nobody care about me, everybody hates me. I mean, it's not true maybe, but it's so deep in their core. So they need our warmth and words and good words and visits even more than usual elders. This is what we are doing. So we're trying to organize the regular home visits with some food basket or something. I mean, food, it's always great, but it's like another reason to visit them. It's not
Yeah.
just hi. It looks like natural and like it works, and it's from our experience, it works pretty great. To spend some time together, to take a look at family pictures, to hear their personal stories. It's very valuable. And
Yeah, that's really important, especially as the years go on and we have fewer and fewer
exactly,
survivors that are still alive.
yeah, the youngest of them are more than 80 plus, because
Wow.
the youngest one was born about like a 40, 41, 44. So
And what countries are they coming from? The ones particular that you're helping through CBN Israel?
mostly from Europe, from East Europe. Why? Because it's historically, because of Iron Curtain, it was closed. So the Holocaust survivors from East Europe, they are actually started to came here in Israel about like early 90s. It aged about like a 60. So people came here with no savings, because it were a pretty poor countries. So no savings, no chances to build a new career here, no actually even some real pension here, because no previous experience. So it's usually they're getting some sort of I think welfare, like a minimum amount of Avtachat Aknasa. I don't know how to explain it to English. I mean the minimum income. I mean government support.
Right.
It's always so touching me, because I mean these generations, they are just unbreakable, because I mean this small amount of money, I don't know how it's just enough to buy. I mean food, because we're spending in our family, I mean the same amount of money just for the food, because we're two children, we're a couple, four people. And with our prices, I don't know. I mean, this generation just great, and I mean, I think American elders are great also, because it's pretty strong generation after the war and war generation.
Yeah, there's something about that.
Yeah.
They know how to survive. I mean,
Exactly, they know how to survive. They
yeah.
know how to do it,
Mhm.
but it's still hard.
And now they're going through. I've heard a lot of those Holocaust survivors during this war
Hmm.
talk about, compare the experiences.
Exactly, the sirens, the explosions. It's remind them the childhood, their these disasters during the World War II and again and victims and all these faces or lost soldiers and yeah, I mean it's like a post-trauma about post-trauma and another level of post-trauma and yeah, so they're especially vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
hard word for me. Sorry. So,
You said it very well. I mean, let's put it this way. Your English is way better than my Ukrainian.
okay, you don't have to. So,
Yeah. So
yeah,
thank you.
okay, it's my
Thank you very
Ukrainian,
much.
my mother language. So,
I know. No, I know. Thank you. But thank you for speaking to us in English. But no, you're right. They're vulnerable, especially to the trauma, as well as the other issues and challenges that you said before, like maybe loneliness or the inability to afford things. But the trauma of now going through another war. I mean, when sirens go off, do they go to the shelter, or do you find that they just say, no, we're going to stay?
some of them are trying to, because it's pretty hard. I mean, even physically in this age to
Yes.
run somewhere, and it's like depends on your location. It could be less than a minute. So here in Israel, I mean the new buildings, not new ones, but about like since 90s, I think. So we have some inner shelters in every apartment. It's like a concrete box in a room, sort of. It's like a small concrete room in every
Yes.
apartment. So the lucky people have these ones, but if you are living in some old building, so you have to run out of building to the the close. I mean
the shelter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for elders, it's sometimes just impossible. I mean physically or very hard.
We have actually, there's a Holocaust survivor that lives in my building in Jerusalem. I mean, we have a minute and a half to run, but we noticed she never goes to the shelter. We have a shelter. It's on the first floor of the building. It's like on the ground floor, and it's kind of a public shelter. But she never comes out, and so we're always like knocking on her door to check. And this last time, she never answers, by the way, but last time she answered, she opened the door and she said, look, I survived the Holocaust. I'm going to survive this. So just let me sleep. I'm fine.
Yeah.
She's like, oh,
Yeah, I see.
I'm worried about my kids and grandkids. I'm not worried about myself. And I was like, wow.
Yeah, officially I'm not support this position, but she have no choice.
Yeah.
It's much more chances to get a trauma on the stairs. That's so.
Yeah, that's
elders.
true. That's true. I want to go back to something else you were talking about. You're talking about the prices here in Israel and the cost of living. And I'm sure, like in your work, it's been 18 years, and you probably have seen also like a huge difference in prices and what people need and what they can afford. But tell us a little bit about like the economy, like the economic status here and what the situation is.
Okay, so talking about the last year, I mean, during the war, of course, it's in addition to other issues, it's war. It's very expensive, and we have to pay for it.
Yeah.
So all of us. So our prices are growing dramatically, and I mean the basic stuff like food. So for example, this supermarket
the cart or trolley, yes.
Cart. So I mean if we're talking about year and a half ago, it was about, I don't know, 800 shekel. Now it's 1,000 and 400. I mean, it's like about not twice,
double.
but all exactly. It's, I mean, this is a
war.
Right. Yeah. I understand, but I mean, if you are getting some minimum income, low income, it's actually it's all your money. So,
yes.
And
And by the way, the 800 shekels was already expensive because Israel already
Israel,
was already
yeah,
expensive even
yeah.
before the war. So with the war, it just got more so.
I think we can say it openly. Israel was, I think, the most expensive country. I mean, if we are talking about Western world, so it's very expensive. But now it's even more. So
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So that's also humanitarian aid. I mean, it's sometimes it's very straightforward, like in other countries. But I think in Israel, it's a little bit different how you could do humanitarian aid in Israel.
yeah, I understand. I mean, it's so great. I mean, CBN doing so great, a lot of stuff all over the world. Especially, if I so glad always to see some, this water projects in Africa or in Asia. It's so important for these people. It's great. Here it's little different because actually we are, like from one side we have some high-tech companies and etc., electronics and but from other side it's a very expensive country, and a lot of people, I think maybe more than half of people, it's about maybe about the poverty line, maybe not under the poverty line. I think maybe about 30%.
30% are under the poverty
exactly.
line.
But if we are talking about the rest of population, I think about half of it, it's
hovering on it
around the poverty line. So so not so easy.
Right. It's strange. It doesn't look like a poor country, and yet because most people have apartments, and even if it's a low rent or whatever, they have apartments, they have phones, and they have TVs. And so but the, like you said, the price for groceries, for essentials. I was also, when I moved to Israel, was amazed that like you go to like buy a big appliance or whatever, and first of all, it's a ridiculous amount of money. It's like at least 1 month's salary to buy that, but they offer for you to do payments without interest. You just on your credit card, and I never heard of that before. It doesn't happen at least in America. So but then I realized, I'm like, oh, that's how all of Israel survives, is payments.
Exactly.
Yeah, otherwise you can't.
A big part of our people are living like in a debt. We are calling here, it's like a minus, minus on your
in your
amount,
bank
account, and you have to pay for it, of course, like a monthly.
Yeah, the interest every month.
Monthly interest, yeah, but this is our way of living, because of wars and because of we are in the Middle East, so we are living today. So we are trying to to keep our high level of spirit, etc.
Yes.
So we are living today, and okay, tomorrow will be tomorrow. But it's wrong way. I'm not recommend this way of living, but.
Well, it keeps your spirits up. Maybe it works, but of course it's hard.
Yeah.
And then people do get into debt, but yeah. So it's amazing that every little thing. Like, I know that a lot of your projects is helping people with those appliances, because as you said, like the immigrants who are coming, they can't get very good paying jobs in the beginning. At least when they first get here, they have to just take something, and then it would probably take them 2 months to buy one refrigerator or a bed.
Pretty, I mean, simple way. I mean, the usual situation for new immigrants, it's if you are even getting some job, it's like some basic one with low income. Like here in Israel, we have a minimum salary. Actually, I think maybe like in the States.
There's one too.
So you have to pay your worker at least. I mean, if we're talking about here in Israel, 30 shekels, I think it's about $10. Okay, so your minimum monthly income, it's about, netto about 5,000 shekel. The rent in the cheap area, we are not talking about Tel Aviv, about periphery. The cheap apartment in the pretty poor neighborhood, it's at least 3,000 shekel. So, and what you have, it's 2,000. If we are talking about groceries, so if it's like talking about family, like a couple with two children, one child, it's no, at least I don't know, if the basic stuff, it's 1,500. It's very basic. I mean, just it's no meat, no fish, no. It's just pasta and I don't know, the basic stuff. Okay, but you have to pay your
the rent.
The rent.
And what else did you
I've talked
just
about
say?
rent, but I mean the rest of stuff like electricity
the
and
bills.
Exactly the bills. And sometimes you have to buy some sandals for your kid or some T-shirt or I don't know. I mean, the really basic stuff. So it's if we are talking about one income, one salary, so that's it. If both of them are working, so okay, so it's little more. But still, I mean, we're not talking about, I don't know, PlayStation or something.
Right.
I mean, the real basic stuff. So
right.
This is our prices and this is our...
the rent is a very high percentage of people's salary.
So
and
to
then
create some career, it takes at least about, I don't know, 5 years. And again, it will be about about the poverty line, not more than this. So we're not talking about buying, I don't know, Lexus. So just just enough money for food. First 5 years, it's very hard time for new immigrants. So even financially, we are not talking about psychological traumas and etc. But even, I mean, we're talking only about income and just the budget.
Right. There's I mean, definitely a lot of challenges.
I mean, if you have no savings from your previous countries, so
you got to start all over, new country,
from nothing, like
new language,
exactly,
and pretty much you're going in debt after the first month. So it's a big deal, and it's a nation of immigrants. So it's
like a wave after wave. I mean, this is so. Usually, people here are just trying to help each other. I mean, donate some old stuff or something, some used stuff. It helps a lot, but. Why? Because it's every one of us, we were immigrants, or our parents were immigrants. So but still, it's it's still hard.
And most recently, the latest wave is from Ukraine and Russia, actually, because of the war.
Exactly.
Because of the war there, not the war here. They came from that war to this war.
And we are hearing from our beneficiaries on and on. So they just ran from one escape from war to the next war. And this is this current situation. So,
can you tell us about the couple that you just visited in Haifa?
So the young couple of new immigrants, they are from Ukraine. They came here in Israel a year ago, and from Russian rockets and planes to to local ones. So and. Yesterday it was especially big rocket attack from Lebanon because it was a year of war. So they did it like sort of celebration. So this sick celebration, and the huge rocket exploded right next to their building. So it's all of the. I mean, explosion was so powerful. It's they lost all the windows,
the shades on the windows.
So it was broken, and they were wounded by pieces of glass and concrete, etc. So ran to the basement, to the shelter, and in the blood and etc. So and it's pretty typical situation. People just escaped from one war to another during the last 2 years. So it's an additional problem. It's like a post-trauma because they are actually coming here with previous post-trauma, and they are getting additional one. So And CBN, we're trying to help them with psychological support also. It's pretty new project for us, but it's very important, especially during this last couple of years.
That's unbelievable what they had to go through twice, and also after you met them as new immigrants to help them assimilate, and now they have to rebuild for the second time in a year.
Yeah, but the difference is there. We are hearing it on and on from different people, from different families. Even so, they are feeling themselves more protected here. I mean, by army, but by state, because here it's we are. Have some experience during all this Israeli stories since 48.
Yeah.
So we know how to act during the war and how to protect civilians. So these new immigrants, they are feeling themselves more protected.
Okay.
But even so, to escape from one war to other, it's not easy. So.
All right. Well, Dima, thank you so much for telling us about your work and really shedding light on the situation here and the different situations and challenges that people face around the country. I think it's it's very important, and it's not just during wartime, but definitely things just got very interesting.
Thank you. It was so great to share with you. So
yeah, this was awesome. Thank you so much. And you can make sure there's no brown M&Ms.
Oh, great. Yeah, good job.
All right, thank you. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. Please consider liking and subscribing. You can find this podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. We'll catch you next time. Bye.